If you go onto Mineplex, you might see a little known game called Creative Housing. This game, however, is anything but creative, and today we'll be looking at why. Hello everybody, my name is KurtBroG, and today we'll be looking into the problem with Mineplex Creative Housing and why it's actively building a bad reputation for its host server. Before we begin, however, I must thank my channel members that you can see on screen now. Anyway, with that said, let's get into the video, and thank you for watching. Mineplex Creative Housing is a persisting minigame on the Bedrock version of the once popular server Mineplex, which is now essentially inactive. In Creative Housing, you are given a plot of land where you can build anything within reason, and you can also sometimes view other people's builds if the server lets you. So what makes it creative? Well, that's one of the problems. There is no creativity. Sometimes there isn't even housing. More importantly, however, is the lack of quality on the vast majority of builds. The reason behind this lack of quality can be broken down into 4 main points, the first of which being our next segment. Over my time covering and playing creative housing builds, I have found that there are many common themes that cause a certain blandness on the game, as most of the time you'll just be playing the same build made by a different person. The main ones I've come across are love hotels, which are as ridiculous as they sound. It's basically a hotel that you roleplay as a person in love. I don't get it. It's very stupid and it's really confusing how they're so popular. Parkour builds, which usually have a gradual increase in difficulty from easy to hard. Doesn't sound silly, but they are extremely common. There are roleplay builds, which can be on any topic but are usually related to love hotels or towns. The towns usually have some sort of link to the hotels too. It's weird and common. There are free build plots, which are where the host gives everyone build permissions, and it usually devolves into absolute anarchy as there are no rules in place. And I'm not saying there aren't any unique builds, but you'll probably see 5 of each of these types before finding an original one. I think this repetition can be partially attributed to something I like to call the featured server effect. Is something I've come up with to explain the reason behind the amount of bad players that populate the featured servers. It can be broken down into 2 main points. The first is that the featured servers are all pushed by Minecraft, and a casual or younger player may not know about other servers on Bedrock, and will probably choose a server from their list to be their main server. Or they physically cannot play on non-featured servers, like console players, causing them to be stuck on a server like Mineplex or Lifeboat. The second is that they could possibly be Java players, and they see a familiar name like Mineplex or The Hive, and they go with what they know, rather than trying something new like Galaxy or Pixel Paradise. Wait, actually, don't try that one. They may have also had fond memories of Mineplex and see that their player count is significantly higher on the Bedrock version and will be lured into a false sense of activity on the server. Ever since the beta of Creative Housing came out all those years ago, there has always been a game-breaking or crashing bug that persists, no matter how many patches they put out for the game. The first was reported on October 19th, 2018, and it was a glitch where the player got stuck in a block and couldn't fly out as they'd be teleported back to the block. They also mentioned that their build had disappeared upon rejoining the server, which implies that the save glitch present in the current day has been around since before Creative Housing's official release. A test done by another user of the Mineplex forums also concluded that items not considered as blocks, such as banners, carpets and signs, were not saved upon exiting the server. The next was a fly glitch posted on the same day, which completely disabled flying for some users in their own house. This could also be an explanation for the trouble that the first user with the block glitch encountered. The same user who had the fly glitch also reported that they gained admin permissions on another player's house. Luckily, to my knowledge, this was patched rather quickly. The first naming glitch was reported on November 20th, 2018, and still persisted to the present day. This glitch basically said that any input by the user was an inappropriate name. This could range to anything from perfectly appropriate words to even singular letters. This then got worse around April 8th, 2019, which was now outside of Creative Housing's beta period, and it made it impossible to create any houses with inappropriate words in them. meaning those with this glitch were unable to make any new houses. Another glitch that began sometime in early 2021 was the server not found glitch, which made it near impossible to join other people's houses, as even if they were up and running, the game would not register them as such. This glitch has persisted into the current day, with the most recent bug report for it being from May 2022, reporting it has been 15 months since it was first discovered. This glitch was one-off, if not the main reason I stopped making Mineplex creative housing videos, as it made it near impossible to play the game. I think all of these tie in with the next section, which is... Mineplex has a somewhat infamous reputation with how it handles problems and complaints. Hell, I even made an entire video on the problem with their response to feedback. I'll give you a small rundown now. Basically, ever since the server was taken over by Strut20 and DeathX7, who took over from Spudgel and Spew, there has been little to no positive communication between the staff and the players, even going so far as to ban players who speak out against the staff, the server, and the many problems that infest both topics, rather than listening to hear what needs improving on the server. Creative Housing was released just as this change was taking place, which explains the lack of care for the game, and as much as I understand that the Bedrock team is different from the Java team, they're still both under the same management. So the attitude of, we aren't going to fix this game, we don't care, was still very persistent and present in the development of the early Bedrock server. This is just another chapter in the insane downfall of Mineplex, and is definitely not the only attribute to its failure. In conclusion, you can try creative housing if you want, you probably won't like it, or maybe you won't even be able to connect to it. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, feel free to give it a like and share it with your friends. Keep on gaming and stay safe. Bye!